Good afternoon. The Bobbi Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting. So let's get comfortable, relax, lounge. So many of you here in this room, like myself, will have owned the entire Bobbi Brown Essentials collection. You may have learned how to do your makeup for the first time from one of Bobbi's 9 best-selling books. Many of you will not know, however, that Bobbi's latest venture is actually about creating beauty from the inside out. She recently launched her new company, Beauty Evolution. And this is encompassing of her website, justbobbi.com, and it's also her brand new wellness company, Evolution 18, which is all about feeding your beauty from the inside out. And it obviously is very timely. I think today, if you're here, you're interested in wellness. It is so much a part of the conversation right now. And so we're going to learn a little bit more today about why, after really spearheading and creating American beauty on the outside, your newest venture has been about creating it from the inside.
I've always been all about taking care of yourself. It's not just about what you put on your face, your body, your hair. It's really how you feel. And if you feel good, then you look better. So I've always believed in health and wellness. I've always taught through all of my books, and I've always been personally, curious, as I still am. I'm obsessed with your father, like everyone. But what is going to work to make me feel better? What's going to give me more energy? What's going to make my skin look better? So for me, it's just a natural evolution, hence the word evolution, for wellness on the inside out. And I'm also in school studying to be a health coach. Just in case.
Throw it in there.
Yeah.
So tell everyone a little bit about Evolution 18, the products that you're creating, why they were so important for you, and why you think that they didn't exist in the market yet, why you wanted to create them.
I've always been someone that likes to reinvent. Like I always say, I did not invent makeup, but I reinvented it. I made makeup wearable. Well, these products, they weren't on the market, and I started with the afternoon chocolate, and it was very important to me to have the best ingredients, but also I wanted a product that would give me some energy, fuel my brain in the afternoon when I get that slump like we all do, but mostly to fill me up for 3 or 4 hours so I can go out to dinner with my husband, order a cocktail, and not eat the bread basket.
But the bread basket's the best part.
No, me and bread are not best friends. So it's all lifestyle inspired. There's also a product, a vanilla overnight, that has collagen, which is great for your skin, magnesium, hyaluronic acid, 60-calorie vanilla, tastes like cake batter, but that's so you won't touch any of the sweets in your house. When you come home from a restaurant, you're really good, you don't have carbs, and you have a nice glass of wine or two, and you come home, you're like, I just need one thing, and you've eaten all the dried fruit or whatever you have in the house. Have this, you will not touch the dessert.
Interesting. Okay, so I don't know if I would still be able to avoid my square of dark chocolate or the cookie batter that I keep in the freezer, but I'm going to try. I like the sound of this. So take everyone back, because Bobbi Brown launched in '91, and I feel like you say, I didn't invent lipstick, I had to reinvent it, because you were solving for the solutions of everyday women who wanted to present an even more beautiful, more confident, more honest and real version of herself at a time when American beauty was all about harsh contours and shiny red lips and very big and bold and huge shoulder pads and everything we remember that was fabulous about 90s fashion. Are there lessons from building that Bobbi Brown brand that you're bringing into this wellness category, which is so much, again, about being natural, being your honest self, but trying to do it in a way that really suits your lifestyle?
Well, I hear that authenticity is a trend. I really can't even believe that I've read that somewhere. But being your authentic self is what makes you a happy person. I've been married, it'll be 30 years, and I launched, I live...
Woo! That's awesome.
I know, honestly, I can just say yes, and it's not a problem at all. But I also, as a working makeup artist, I lived in Montclair, New Jersey. No one did it back then. I started having children. My oldest is here. I won't point him out or he'll kill me. But I just always made sure that I had, as much as I could, well-rounded lifestyle. So anyone that's starting a business, I always try to tell them, you could be everything you want to be and do it all. It's not easy. Nothing is easy. Being a founder is not easy. Being a businesswoman, is not easy. but just making sure you have the whole picture. You know, lifestyle is important. So my new brand is very lifestyle inspired because I like to make things simpler for people and solve problems.
I love that. I actually think that's an important note to touch on. Well, two things there. One is we could talk about relationships for a little while if you guys are into that, because I think that's important too. But I think the point that it's not easy, and somewhere along the way we got, we got misled into this idea that being an entrepreneur was always glamorous and you worked for yourself and you set your own schedule. And there are a lot of very unsexy parts that we don't dwell on. My grandparents, I saw them this week, and we were talking about also how happiness isn't a destination, it's a byproduct. And I think that's something that you captured almost maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally, as a result of having created a workplace where it really did meet your lifestyle and needs. So you and your husband collaborate a lot, it seems like, but your first major venture together is this brand new hotel in Montclair, New Jersey, you guys, called George, the George.
It's called the George, and it's the first project I've ever done, with my husband. He's a real estate developer and a really talented, visionary. And this was the first thing, and literally, it was not easy. It was not easy. I got the Nespresso machines. He got some things. We kind of figured out how to work it out. But again, it's another foray into lifestyle. I wanted people, when they are in a hotel room, to be better than when they're at home. I wanted all the your comforts. And I wanted to be able to create something with a cool vibe, but also be really comfortable and curated. And, people have really been loving it. It's been really fun.
So when you've spent your career and built your expertise in one category, and there may be a number of you in here who did that and are then looking to transition into something that there's definitely a strong connection, but it's certainly not the same. What were some of the biggest hurdles that you had to clear to get funding or to get people to buy into this idea that you could also be a beauty on the inside expert?
I have never looked for funding, not when I started my company and not now.
Really?
Yes, because I like to be in charge and I like to be the boss. So no, and I also don't think you should spend more than you have in the bank. I'm very old-fashioned and I believe in making a profit. I know that's not the way a lot of people run their companies now. They just want to grow it and sell it. I just, I treat my companies as if they're my children. I want to take care of them and I want to enjoy it. And, I don't think I will ever sell a company and stay with the company again.
Really?
Will not.
What was that process like?
I did that for 22 years. So it was, in the beginning it was amazing. In the end it was really challenging. I know that I'm probably the worst corporate citizen out there. It is not easy trying to be like everybody else.
Did HR have some problems with you?
Oh, yes. There was quite an HR file. I'm a very nice person, but there was still an HR file. And those of you that worked for me, you remember some of those.
So aside from making a profit, which I think is maybe not talked about enough, but should be definitely part of your corporate goal, what is your goal for Beauty Evolution in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, my goal, right now we have 4 products under the Evolution 18. My goal is to, create more products that really work with a person's lifestyle. I also am really hoping that it becomes our content part of it. I was at Yahoo Beauty for 4 years, and I love nothing better than to create content. So I want to always be in the content business, building content, inspiring and teaching. But I also want to do more mentoring. I've been working with a young girl I met about 10 years ago in the park that made our beach soap when I was with the brand, and now she's working on some products for the hotel, and I'm mentoring her on her business, and I think it's really fascinating.
Do you know what's funny? You just reminded me, actually, my first job ever in, I think, freshman year of high school, I was a beauty road tester for Elle Girl magazine. I don't know if any of you remember that magazine. And they would send me with cool new products to Times Square, and I'd have to test them on like innocent passersby. And one of the first products was the beach cologne that you launched, which smelled like Coppertone.
It was Coppertone. I had them knock off Coppertone. Inspired by. And actually, Coppertone came out with a fragrance.
Oh, really?
It did not smell like beach or Coppertone, but...
So where do you gather your inspiration from? First for Bobbi Brown, and now with Evolution 18, where is that coming from?
Inspiration comes in really funny places, and for me, it's just I never get in an office. I get inspired all the time by talking to people. I like nothing better than to find out people's stories. I am unfortunately addicted to my Instagram that my husband usually has to say, put it down. You know, I learn so much. I get to see so much. So I get inspiration just, you know, in wherever it comes from.
Do you have any favorite accounts that you follow?
You know, right now I'm into a lot of food and wellness accounts, and there's such beautiful content out there. So, you know, I think that I could take my iPhone and create some of that. You know, I make beautiful shakes. They never look good. They never look good. But, you know, I just love health and wellness and fitness.
When, you know, you're now a seasoned and veteran entrepreneur, is there something different about growing a company in wellness than growing a company in beauty, or growing a company 20 years ago versus growing a company now?
Well, growing a company 20 years ago and growing a company now are completely different. Yeah. I find it so much easier now, maybe because I know more, but also we didn't have social media, and we really had department stores, and we had, you know, magazine editors, and we had to really, you know, dress really nice and be all fabulous and, you know, go in. And when you're an indie startup, which I'm an indie startup again, then, you know, you could wear your sneakers and jeans and your hair in a ponytail and talk to people about what you're doing, and they're not judging you on how you look. And I find that really refreshing. I find being authentic, the more authentic you are and the more you could actually passionately talk about what you are doing, the more people want to know more about it.
Was there a moment you can remember that you thought, you know, because I think about this when I write books. I write books for myself. I don't go to bookstores anymore, but I used to go to bookstores and look for something and not find it on the shelf and want to write it. You know, I do that on Amazon now. Was there a moment you can think about where you were like, I need this lifestyle solution? Was there a woman that you think about? Like, how do you go through that sort of creative process?
Well, I mean, I constantly do it. You know, as someone that travels a lot, is always on the go, you know, I'm always trying to figure out how to simplify things and make things easier. But in my quest for simplifying my life, I tend to buy a lot. So, I mean, opening up all those boxes, now I want to call someone at Amazon and saying, can't we just give you the boxes back, and can't you reuse them? And everyone puts their name on it, and then you get a box and you see that it was just in Iowa. So, you know, I'm constantly trying to think of fun things that way. But I like to simplify things. You know, I have not yet gotten to the point in my life where I have really mastered that, but it's something I always achieve to do. And one of the points of difference of the shakes in my line, you don't have to mix them. They're done for you. You just put them with water. You know, a lot of the things you buy out there, you've got to go into the kitchen and, you know, really make them taste good. So it's easy.
Is it a gel? It's not powder?
No, it's powder.
And you just shake it up?
And you could just shake it up. You just put it in a, you know, a thing with water. And our probiotic is actually like a pixie stick, dissolves on your tongue, gets right into your system, and it tastes like a sweet tart.
Delicious. So you referenced your 30-year marriage, and there are a lot of people in this room, I'm sure, who are always striving for that work-life balance. Is there a piece of advice you'd want to share, or something, a commitment that you made early on? I know you live in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. Maybe that's the solution. Everyone moved to Jersey. What would you give as your advice to someone looking to do both?
Well, that anything is possible, but nothing is easy and nothing is perfect. So, you know, I have 3 boys. Now they're 28, 26, and 19. But when I started the company, I had a new baby. So all through the early days at Bobbi, I had these little kids, and I'm really lucky. My husband is very, very supportive. And so he's always been there for me, and I couldn't have done it without him. You know, I've also had really, really good, you know, nannies and au pairs that were, you know, part of our family, and I couldn't have done it without them. So, you know, it was important to me to always literally have my footprint in New Jersey and in Montclair, and I was always the class mom, which was the most stressful thing in the world because I didn't know how to type. I knew work would be taken care of, but the moms, you know, they're not always the happiest. So, but I made sure that I did the drop-off when I could, and I did the pickup when I could.
Yeah, I think having that support network is crucial. And another thing that, for whatever reason, to your point, authenticity is a really big thing right now, but I don't know why. We don't want to talk about how much help and support you do need to be I like how you said it, and I like to say you can do everything, just not all at once. You know.
And nothing is ever perfect. I mean, I've always was the one fixing my makeup in the car on the way to the Today Show because I didn't have time to get there early enough, or I made choices. So I mean, I once had to fly to London to go on a TV show. My kids came down with chickenpox, so instead of leaving the day before, I left. Literally, I got off the plane, went straight away to the TV station. I'm sure they looked at me and said, "Oh my God, she looks so different without makeup." But I wanted to be there the first day of chickenpox, at least for the first kid.
So we haven't touched on your lifestyle site, Just Bobbi.
Yes.
And it's a saturated content universe right now. There's a lot of people writing a lot. Why was it so important for you, and you've obviously written tons of books as well, why was it so important for you to have this sort of interactive, oh, there, you can hear me now, sorry, this interactive site? Is it your words? Are you the one, out there writing these articles? Is that?
I'm writing a lot of them, but I've never worried about what is happening in the market and how saturated it is, because I always just do what I think is right for me. And if it's successful, it's successful. If it's not, it's not. There was 1 million cosmetic companies when I launched, but I didn't worry what they were doing. And right now, there's 1 million wellness brands. There's 1 million editorial sites. Yes, mine is it's me. I mean, it's different. It's me. Look, I don't know how to type. I've written 9 books. I do not know how to type, but I do know how to tell stories, and I'm really good at telling people what to do or asking people to write free content, and then I get to pick a really cool picture it's just, I just do it simple and do it my way. I guess I'm so naive, but somehow that works.
No, it clearly works. But I think that's actually a very defining quality of yours, is that curiosity and that willingness to curate and to share the best of what you're learning. But I want to go back. You said that you make a good point, which is there were 1 million beauty lines when you launched. There's 1 million wellness lines now, but you don't worry about that. What is your sort of brand thesis then? I mean, how do you differentiate? I know you're not looking for funding, but for your own mindset of like, how am I making something novel?
Well, I certainly really believe in anything I put my name on is going to have, the good housekeeping stamp of approval, but my stamp of approval, which is something that tastes good. It's really simple. You know exactly what you're putting in your body. Or if you're reading something, you have a takeaway. There's a reason for it. It's just not words going on and on. And there's a lot of shorter content because that's how I absorb it for sure. But one of the parts of the site I love so much is the archive site, because I have all these old pictures for all the cool things I've done in my life that I never talked about. So, I mean, I did, Vice President Biden's wife's makeup for both inaugurations. And guess what? I have all this cool content. I never talked about it, but now I get to put a picture. And when I was in the motorcade with a guy and I said, "Hi, who are you?" He said, "I'm the Secretary of Defense." And I was like, okay. So all these funny things happen, and I love telling stories, and now I love sharing the stories.
Did you need to give him a touch-up or anything?
No, but he said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm a makeup artist." And I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Leon Panetta, the Secretary of Defense." I was like, okay. And I do have a picture of it. I said, "Can I have my picture taken with you?"
Good. I mean, yes, that catalog is important.
So now I'm trying to organize all my photos because I'm an organization freak. So they're all organized in iPhoto. Not easy. If anyone's good at that, I'm looking for an intern.
What does your at-home makeup kit look like?
My makeup kit is here. It goes with me wherever I go, and most of them are a combination of some things I've bought online. I bought things at Etsy. I have a bunch of lab samples. I have a couple friends that are, in the industry, and I'm trying a lot of the newer organic things, because I'm trying only to use organic cleaning products in my house. I'm trying to use only organic cleaning products in the hotel.
That's big on my court as well. Last question for you, and then are we able to take a couple questions from the audience? Awesome. It revolutionized my life when I learned that you could color correct under eye circles with a pink over a blue and then put your normal foundation on top. If there was one revolutionary beauty tip you could share with this audience today, what would it be?
Everyone needs a brown eyeshadow, because with a brown eyeshadow or a brown eye pencil, you could line your eye, you can do a smudgy eye on your whole lid, You can line under your eyes. You could fill in your brows. You could use it between touch-ups on your hairline. You could actually use it with Vaseline and make a little bit of a bronzer. And in a pinch, you could make a really dark lipstick with the same thing. Honestly, all you need.
Bobbi Brown, ladies and gentlemen. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of a brown eyeliner. So I think we have a time for a couple questions.
Hi. So if I remember correctly, you went to college for makeup or studied, I think, theatrical makeup, correct?
Theatrical makeup at Emerson College.
Yeah. So as you probably know, the internet has really kind of democratized access to information about makeup and skills. You've got YouTube, everything like that. What do you feel are sort of the pros and the cons of all of the sort of access that we now have to makeup and to learning about how to use it and products and things like that?
Well, I look at it as a pro. I think there's so many positive things because you could learn things, but the only negative is there's a lot of makeup on the internet that I don't find attractive, but you can't stop looking at. It's like a car wreck. But I find that it's a great way to get information. I just hope that look, everyone doesn't have to like everything. Not everyone likes my makeup. I have people on the internet all the time saying, "You should really wear makeup." I'm sorry, but I am. Thank you. So, I think it's all a positive. It's how you look at it.
Hi. How do you envision the beauty industry in, say, 10 years from now?
So wait, what was that? What
How
about?
do you envision the beauty industry in 10 years from now?
I think the beauty industry is going to be even more fascinating. I think there'll be more things that will actually help in a natural way. Like now there's all those great tools that kind of firm up your skin. And I think there's going to be more and more products. I hope there's some kind of great face cream that actually will, absorb into your skin and add vitamins. I am sure, and I've tried a friend of mine's soon-to-be launched product that's a CBD oil under the eyes. I see him in the audience, and it's awesome. Joel Greengrass right in the corner there. Theramu. Sorry, it's amazing. And I want more from you guys, yeah.
Hi. So even though you have social media now with this new launch, what's been the hardest thing about, I guess, getting new customers, and how have you handled that?
The question is how do you handle getting new customers? I think the hardest challenge for me is how to get people to think of me not as the makeup artist, but the wellness expert. So people still don't believe that I am not with the brand. People stop me on the street, and I'm not with the brand anymore. So that's the biggest challenge. I am someone that doesn't believe in saying things that aren't nice, especially on social media. So I try to just keep it really positive. And I think there's, the biggest opportunity for me is to be able to do more things out there. And I'm starting as a makeup artist again, which I'm really excited about. I'm doing a shoot on Wednesday. I built a new kit, and I'm just doing the things I love, and somehow it kind of all works out. And if I don't get to your questions, you can ask me on Just Bobbi. I answer people on Instagram.
Hi, my name is Paul. I loved your talk about how you navigate your life and try to avoid, I guess, the marital carnage, financial carnage, and familial carnage that goes with being an all-in founder. But my question was going to be, what do you do on a daily basis to be sure, similar to that talk we know about so much with getting the big rocks in first, to make sure that your life is, when you look back and analyze it, reflective of what you just said?
That's a great question, and as someone that I consider myself, I hate calling myself an expert, but someone that's really interested in being a lifestyle expert, I make sure I drink water when I get up, I make sure I have a really good double espresso, read the paper, and I make sure I get out the door before I do anything. I didn't feel like exercising this morning. I walked the park 3 or 4 times. I felt like a new person. So I just need to every day get out. It clears the cobwebs from my head. I personally need to connect with my husband a couple times a day, make sure everything's fine. I have 3 boys. I connect with them, then I'm fine. Then if I have time, I'll call my dad. So those personal things to me are really important. My girls, I know, are killing it at work. I have 3 employees right now. 3. So yeah, and you know, they're amazing. We're like a family.
Is that the final question? Yeah. Okay. Guys, at Just Bobbi on Instagram, you can ask the other questions because I saw a bunch of hands shoot up here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
for your
you.
candor
Thank you, guys.
And your beauty tips and everything else. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Okay, one more for the entire FounderMade day. Love you too. All I have to tell you guys is that it's time to drink. So this is the best news of the day. And I would also like to introduce the FounderMade founders to tell you more lovely housekeeping.
Hi guys, welcome. Do you guys have a good day? Did you guys do consumer discovery? Did you discover the coolest consumer brands building the future and changing the wellness game and the world game? Well, this would never have happened without a phenomenal team. We have Navi Gananshul and our CRO, Michelle Finizio, who she leads a brand curation team that is just off the hook. These ladies are working night and day, and we have some incredible sponsors that I would love to have Michelle.
Okay, special thank yous to Stribling, to Anshin, to QuadPay, to Seed Phytonutrients and Rhodiol, Kanuka. We had Stage 1 Financial. I mean, so many incredible partners came out, supported, and without our special partners, we would never be able to make this happen, and without your special support and continuing to come to our shows and continuing to give love to our brands, again, we would not be able to make this happen. So thank you so much to all of you and all of our sponsors for being here and supporting us in this incredible mission. So thank you.
And then as we're wrapping up, don't forget, thankfully we have this amazing weather. So there is the cocktail reception that is taking place upstairs with a thank you to our sponsors, Juicy Group, Force Brands, and Amanda Mitz for helping us put this on. And once again, thank you so much for coming out, and we'll see you guys hopefully either in LA or next year.